Well, all right. Let's talk about what happens at 33 hours and why your stress can feel different right now. At this point, you're not just skipping meals anymore. Your body has crossed what I call the transition point. You're moving from fuel dependence to fuel flexibility. And that's what we're going to be talking about right here, right now on the show. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I want to help you have success in your health, just like you're having success in other areas of your life. I want you to show up for the things that are important, the family, the friends, the dreams that you've been pouring into. You want to be healthy and you want to be around. You don't need superhuman power. You just need a strategy you can trust, a plan you can follow, and you need support to keep you going and to keep showing up. Hey, if you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I want to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that I am excited that you are here. So welcome from whatever platform you're on. If you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments because we want to make sure that we get to those as we talk about what's going on in our health, in our lives, and as we talk about the Limitless Living Method. That's right, a method that is designed to help you gain control of the things in your life that set you metabolically in place to be healthy. Hey, welcome through. We are now in, that's right, 33 hours. 33 hours. Can you believe it? 33 hours. So whatever platform you're joining us from, thank you for coming through. Go ahead and drop in the comments where you're joining us from. What country, what city, what state, what village, what town, wherever you're from, go ahead and drop that because we'd love to say hello to you. And we've got some good things that we're going to be taking a look at here in just a little while. I've got my monitors off to the side that we're going to take a look at right here. Of course, down below is what my Dexcom Clarity Report looks like. And we'll be talking more about what's happening in our bodies and in our metabolism. One of the things that I'm very excited about is that the channel is designed so that when you show up, when you come, you just get to plug in. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel, right? We're going through the health action plan. We've got our fasting that we're doing. We've got our strength training that we're doing. That's part of our MOVE campaign. We've got our mindset and mindset mastery. And we've got our strategy and planning. All of those are there, and they are designed so that when you show up, you can just plug right in and begin working through the process, walking down that path with us. So if you want to know where to start, on the channel, there's a playlist and it's called Start Here. And that's where you would start. Start here and begin walking through that pathway. And on the channel also, there is the this week's videos. If you want to know what's going on this week, what are the conversations we're having this week, they will show up right there in that playlist. Now, if you're looking for these next week, they're not going to be there, right? Because it's this week. So next week's videos are going to be in there. But that way you can jump in, plug in, and know where we are. So let's go ahead and let's take a listen to that MOVE campaign promo. This is designed for us to improve our movement, improve our health by using one of the most powerful tools that we have, and that is the body. Let's go ahead and listen to that right now. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started. So very, very excited about the MOVE campaign. Remember, metabolic optimization via exercise. One of the most powerful tools that we have is this body. And if we will give it the things that it needs, it will do for us a lot more than us trying to carve out or fix or tweak things here and there. Oh yeah, the body is resilient. That's our word for this week, by the way. The body is resilient, and it has a capacity to absorb the things that we do. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to jump in now, and we're going to do a check-in. You know, whenever I talk about check-in, I'm talking about how I'm doing physically, mentally, and emotionally. Those are the places where people tend to have their most difficulty. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. So fasting is an amazing tool. And for any tool that you're ever using, if you want to know, is the tool giving you the things that you need? Or is it providing for you the benefits? You want to be able to check in, right? And so that's what we're doing right now. So how am I doing physically? When we talk about physical, people tend to talk about their energy level, right? Are they feeling energized? Are they feeling sluggish? Are they feeling as though they're hitting a brick wall, as though they're hitting a wall at the end of the day? And so as we get through fasting, one of the important things to do is to pay attention to the body. And right now, I'm actually feeling energetic. I am feeling, I'm not feeling as though I'm weak, tired, dizzy, lightheaded, sweaty, palpitations, none of those things right now. So I'm feeling energized. When we talk about the mental, as we talk about our energy, that also translates into what goes on in terms of our thought process. And right now, I'm feeling clear. I'm not feeling foggy-headed, not feeling dull. We'll talk more about those things. Come back and we'll be going through those as we do our show on Friday, as we do our complete fast. And then, of course, emotionally having to do with our mood. And right now, because I'm energetic, because my mind is clear, I've been doing a good job of resting, all those things that go along with fasting. Right now, I am, I'm feeling excited. Feeling excited as I'm moving through this week. So make sure that you are, when you're doing your check-in, that you're kind of walking through all of those to make sure that you are getting, first of all, the benefit from the tool that you're using, and making sure that you're paying attention to your body. All right, and so now let's go ahead and let's get it over to our monitor, and let me go ahead and pull that up really quickly. Let me do one more thing before I do that, actually. So what you're going to be looking at right now, this is my Freestyle Libre. And right now, my Freestyle Libre says that my blood sugar is 68, right? So 68, so below 70. And if you look down here on this graph, you'll see that for most of the day, I have been in the period or in the area below 70. So the white part of that graph, those little squiggly lines that you see, those says that my blood sugars were above 70, and then the red says I'm below 70. So for most of today, we've been below 70, and of course, we're fasting, so that is to be expected. If I take my finger and I can run it across that graph, you'll see what my numbers are. See right there, the white part, that's 70, 70, 70, above 70, and then right there, we dip below 70, 68, 68, 68, went back up a little bit above 70 for a little while, and then back down to where we are now, and we've been kind of staying in the mid to low 70. Now here we popped up a little bit at 68, okay? And then looking at my report, I love these reports because they tell me a lot of different things. Here, my time in range, and I'm looking at this big number that'll show up right here. So I'm in range 84% of the time, with 16% of the time I'm actually below normal. And so those are the times where what we just saw when I am fasting. And so when I'm fasting, the blood sugar will drop below 70. Here's my 14-day. I'm in target 90% of the time. 30-day. And here's my 90-day. The 90-day is important because that's what our A1C is based on. And so 86% in target, 13% below target, and then 1% very low. Looking at one of the other graphs that I like to see, and that's this one. And I like this one because it gives me an average, which is this line right here. So 89 is my average. Let's go to the 90 day. So 90 is my average. And then down here, it breaks the blood sugar down into the different times of the day. So I can make decisions about what I do, what I eat, how I behave, or how I sleep, all of those based on what's happening during the day. So I can pinpoint a particular time and say, hey, I know that every time 2 o'clock comes around, this is what I see. And okay, what is going on around 2 o'clock that's causing that issue that I'm seeing? Or maybe the opposite's happening. At 2 o'clock, my blood sugars are very good compared to the rest of the time. And so my question then becomes, what am I doing at 2 o'clock that gets my blood sugar to be so good? And how do I translate that now into the rest of my day? Okay, see how I use that information? All right, now let's go ahead and let's get over, and we're going to take a look at what the Dexcom is saying. And here's my blood sugar right now, 101 according to the Dexcom. And similarly, taking my finger and running it across this graph down here, and you'll see we've been in the low 100s, and then it also dipped a couple of times down below 100, like right there, 99, 89, 85, but it's been pretty much straddling, upper 90s, low 100s for most of today, and then of course where we are right now. At 101. And then looking at my summary, we're going to jump right to the 90-day average because once again, that's what our A1C is based on. We're 115 average with my glucose management indicator of 6.1, meaning that's what my A1C would be if I were to get an A1C based on these numbers. And then of course in target 98% of the time, and you'll see right below that 2%. 1% is low, and then another percent is very, very low. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's going to jump over. Let's get back to this view. Actually, I'm going to leave this one up. How about that? Well, let's see. No, let's get back here to Libre. And then let's go ahead and let's see what's going on with my blood sugars according to my monitors. So I've got my Keto Mojo, and I've got my Contour. So let's grab my container, and here is a strip for the Contour. Let's get that out, and we'll actually put that one right in right now. And then I need a blue strip and a brown strip. The blue is, of course, my ketone strip for the Keto Mojo. The brown is my glucose, and then I need a couple of lancets, and I get a couple because in case one doesn't quite work, we have another one. Okay. All right, so get that over there. We'll put these off to the side, and then go ahead and open up, starting with the glucose strip for the Keto Mojo. I'm going to grab that and get that into the monitor. And while this one is kind of warming up, if you will, I'm going to go ahead and open the ketone so I can have that off to the side as well and ready to go in. All right. And then here's my lancet. As you know, I don't use a lancing device. So those of you who are out there, it's just easier for me to do. I can just open it up and get a finger. And ow. Hopefully that gives me a good drop. Yep, it did. A good brisk drop, so get that started. And if you're there, go ahead and drop into the comments, what do you think my ketones are going to be? So we're now 33 hours into this week's fast. And so here my Keto Mojo says I'm 86 blood sugar. And this one says 89. That's the Contour. If I go back over here, you'll see that my Freestyle says 68. And then my Dexcom says 101. So all of these right now are giving different numbers within 10 points maybe for the Keto Mojo, for the Contour, and for the Dexcom. And the odd man out right now is the Libre, which says that I'm down in below 70. Let's go ahead and get this off. Let's get this one off the screen. And I need to go ahead and change this out. And this one is going to give me my ketone. So let's drop that in and get started. All right, so if you're there, go ahead and drop what you think my ketones are going to be. All right, so that one's going. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So point 2. Point 2 is what my ketones are. And let's go ahead and pull this over. Let's see if that'll work. And so ketones that are less than 0.5 considered normal, 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. Let's see if we can get this to sync. Pull that over. And I see some of you are dropping comments or guesses in there. All right, so here we are. So finished. And so we're looking at these numbers right here. Okay, so at 23.8, 86 is the glucose, and then 0.2 was what the ketones were. So 23.8, that's my glucose ketone index. It's a ratio of the glucose to ketones. Glucose is 86, of course, and then my ketones are 0.2. Now notice that the Keto Mojo says that my glucose was 86. The Contour said, I'm going to put this one back. The Contour says that we were 89, and the Dexcom says I was 101, and the Libre says I was 69. So right now, based on ketones, the Dexcom, the Contour, and the Keto Mojo are likely more accurate, right? Because the freestyle said that I was below 70. So if I'm below 70, then I would expect my ketones to be higher. Okay? All right. I hope that makes sense to you. Awesome. All right. Now let's go ahead and let's say hello to some of our community members. I see you guys out there. So welcome for coming through. And I didn't say at the top of the show, welcome to our Accelerator members. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us as well. So let me go ahead and do this, get our comments up. And I see Gian. Gian says hi. Actually, not that one. Here we are. Okay. So Gian says hi, doctor. And LLG, what's going on, Gian? Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. She says I'm my 12th 47-hour fast. That's right. So 12th time that Gian has been fasting in a row of 48 hours is what she's heading to. All right, and so she's guessing at 0.7. Steve says 0.2. Jennifer, howdy. What's going on, Jennifer? Jennifer says, howdy all. Hi, Gian. Hey, Doc. Hey, thank you for coming through. Jennifer saying hey to Steve. Congrats to Gian on her fasting. Yeah, let me give you a hand clap for that one. Congratulations. Jennifer guessing 0.2. I don't know if you were guessing, Jennifer, or just restating what mine was. Gian says hi, Jennifer. And Gian saying hello to Steve. Yep. So, great community that we're part of, by the way. And so I love as we interact with each other. So a big part of what we talk about, the Limitless Living method, right? So it says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and the best plans for our lives, and we are going to be successful. That's the Limitless Living method. And the things that we do, the things that we teach, the things that we talk about all fit into that. And you heard me say at the top of the show, I want to help you. I want to help you to have success in your health, just like you're having success in other areas of your life. So you can show up for the things that are important for the family, for the friends, and all of those dreams that you've been pouring into. That's our goal. And so as we do that, fasting becomes an important part of what we do. And so this is an important place where we are at 33 hours. Let's go ahead. We're going to talk about what's going on at 33 hours, this transition zone, as we term it. Let's go ahead and look at that right now. And so as we talk about the 33-hour period, this period that we're here right now, the Limitless Living method says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plans, all right? So at this point in our fasting, 33 hours, we're not just skipping meals. The body has actually crossed into this transition zone where you're moving from fuel dependence to fuel flexibility, from what I ate today to what I have stored. And that's a big point for a lot of people. As I talk to patients, as I talk to clients, as I talk to community members, it's important to understand that the body has stored energy. And if it has stored energy, it will use that energy. And so you will see blood sugars that may be a little higher than you expect them to be, or that you think they should be, because you're thinking, well, I didn't eat anything recently, so now this blood sugar should be lower. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how that same transition affects stress systems, your cortisol rhythm, your energy, and your emotional stability. Right? So I want you to think of this as a kind of a status report on your body's stress blueprint. Right? What's happening under the hood? What signals should I expect? And how to support the system so it adapts instead of panics. That's the plan. And that's where we're heading. Right? So 33-hour, our check-in, that transition zone. Motivation hands the wheel to metabolism. So we were excited. We were motivated to get in here. We wanted to do this. We were going to make changes because of our health and some of the things that are going on in our lives. And so we were excited. We jumped in with both feet. And now the motivation is moving on. And what's picking up now, which is exciting, is our metabolism, because the metabolism is the place that keeps us going. It is all the systems that the body has put in place, all the systems that the body has brought to bear that are helping us in the process, helping us move through and be successful. Now, let me say this, right? It's a great place for me to make this point, that your body wants to be healthy. I want that to sink in. Often we blame the body for different things that are going on. Like, my body wants to do this, my body won't do this, my body. So the body actually wants to be healthy. And it is doing everything it can to be healthy. And if we give it the right environment, the body can fix itself. It's resilient. That's our word, right? Resilient. The capacity to bounce back, the capacity to bend and not break. So let's talk a little bit about this metabolic handoff that's happening. So what's going on at this time? So around 33 hours, right, your glycogen, that's the short-term sugar in your liver, is basically gone. Insulin, your storage hormone, is low. Glucagon, your release hormone, is up. Growth hormone is elevated. It's protecting the muscles. That shift forces your body to stop relying on quick sugar, those hits that it gets, and it starts relying on that stored fat. Fatty acids, those are levels, right? Fatty acids coming from those cells. As the body is taking those fat cells and is breaking it down into the two components, free fatty acids and glycerol. Those are floating around. The liver is converting them into ketones, and your brain starts using these ketones as a cleaner, steadier source of fuel. When that handoff is going well, you often notice blood sugars that are smoothing, hunger that's calming, energy that feels more even. As we talk about our check-ins, right? Well, how are you feeling? Well, I'm feeling calmer. I'm feeling more energetic. I'm not feeling those fluctuations. My focus is getting a little sharper. That's the metabolic side. That's what's going on. Now, let's talk about what's happening with stress and with resilience. Right? So, this is the resilient crossover or the transition that we talk about. What happens to your stress system at 33 hours? This crossover is why we feel different, why stress feels different at 33 hours. Your stress system is tied directly to your metabolism. I want you to understand that. So what happens in your metabolism directly affects your stress levels. Cortisol, for example, the rhythm starts to stabilize. Early in the fast, cortisol can bump up a bit because your body is asking, are we in danger? Because it doesn't seem like we're getting food. We're not getting fuel. Are we in danger, or is this a part of a controlled plan? Notice that word, controlled plan. The body likes stability. And it's right now trying to figure out, is she going to give me some food? Is he going to get something to eat soon? Is this just another break? Or is this part of the plan that we've done where we are fasting on a weekly basis? By the time you reach 33 hours, if you've been hydrating, if you've been resting, and if you've been staying structured, the cortisol starts to fall. It starts to follow a cleaner rhythm again. Because the body realizes, okay, this is just another part of what we do. That metabolic flexibility that we talk about. You're less edgy. Have you ever seen people who haven't eaten for a while? People who are on a diet where they're actually doing a calorie deficit diet? What are they like? Irritable sometimes, right? They're edgy. They're on that edge. You're like, okay, you need to start eating. All right? The background sense of urgency is beginning to go down. So the body knows now that this is a thing. You may notice that you still have things to do, though. But your brain isn't shouting about all of the things that you have to do at one time because there's a calm there. That's not just mindset. That's a more regulated stress curve. And then one of the most important parts of our body is the nervous system. There's the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic nervous system. And the balance begins to shift. So sympathetic is our fight or flight. That is, man, there's danger, so I need to be amped up. I need to be ready. Need to be surveilling. And then the parasympathetic is kind of our calm, relaxing part of our nervous system. So your nervous system has those two main components. The go, 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 push, 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 react. Or the rest, digest, and repair. As your body accepts the fast as normal, not as an emergency, the sympathetic drive begins to calm and the parasympathetic tone begins to increase. The heart rate begins to settle. You may feel calmer even while awake and even while acting. You're like, I like this. I feel good. I feel energetic. Once again, right? Checking in. Perception of stress begins to change. So you now have the capacity, you now have the capacity to absorb more. This is the part that most people notice at first. The same problem doesn't feel as big. The same noise doesn't feel as loud. The same schedule doesn't feel as overwhelming. It's not that your life got easier just because you're fasting at 33 hours. It's that your internal structure is starting to carry more of the load. You're experiencing what we talked about on our show on resilience, not a personality trait, but as a biological outcome. At 33 hours, your body isn't just burning fat. It's retraining how it responds to stress. And this is that metabolic crossover, that resilience crossover. So when we think about the body, what's normal? What's actually normal at 33 hours? And how do we read the signals at 33 hours? Right? Let's make it practical. At 33 hours, you might notice a bit of chilliness. Why? As we said before, our body is now beginning to shunt blood away from our skin because now all of the enzymes and the hormonal changes that are going on the inside require that. We no longer have to send blood up to the skin because we're dealing with all the things that are going on with the fasting. Once again, what's normal? At 33 hours, a sense of being quieter on the inside. I don't have those butterflies in my stomach anymore. Or they're beginning to quiet down. Maybe you have some slight lightheadedness when you're standing quickly. Once again, hydration. Your mood is more even. Or for some, a brief wave of irritability can happen before things begin to settle. And here's how we read those. Mild chilliness, once again, metabolic shifting from quick burning sugar to steady burning fat. Not an emergency. Shunting blood from the skin inward to deal with all the hormonal changes that are going on. Not an emergency. Calm mood, clearer thought, means that ketones are stabilizing, cortisol is stabilizing. That's a good sign. We're talking about reading, right? What's normal? Maybe you have some brief irritability or some restlessness initially as the body begins now to say, hey, what's going on? And then realizing that, wait, this is normal. We are just in another fasting phase. Your brain notices the change in the fuel. This often passes as you stay hydrated and as you stay structured. You may have some sudden anxiety, maybe increased heart rate, or feeling a little lightheaded. That's not something that we push through. That's a cue to pause, hydrate, check blood sugars if you need to, check blood pressure, and if needed, maybe you need to adjust the fasting. Remember, we're listening to the body. We're hearing what it says to us. We are working to be healthy and we're working to be safe. You're not trying to be a hero, right? You're trying to be informed. This is where resilience becomes practical. You want to know what's normal. You want to know what's not normal. And you want to respond with structure, not with panic. That's the whole point of what we do. We are building a system. We are using tools, and we want to know how those tools work and what they do, how we get the best benefit from the tools that we're using. Okay? So how do we support the crossover? Right? Some practical things, how to support the resilience crossover, this transition from motivation to metabolism. What do we need to do? Structure stabilizes stress. Structure that stabilizes stress. Well, number one, now we can begin thinking about how we help the process. And here are 3 practical things. And they're simple. Right? Remember them. Jot them down somewhere. Number 1, hydration. At this stage, even mild dehydration will make your heart work a little harder. Dehydration. Dehydration will make lightheadedness worse. Remember, we're listening to our body. Dehydration will make stress feel louder. Remember, our body, this idea of resilience, a part of resilience has to do with our capacity to absorb, and not just in terms of our emotions, but also in terms of our metabolism in our body. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can so that we are allowing the body the best possibility of being successful. So what do we do in this case? Make sure we're sipping some water regularly. Because as we're fasting, if we're not careful, because we're not thinking about eating, we also don't think about drinking. If you need to, add some electrolytes in there, some sodium, maybe some potassium. That's appropriate. And when you're drinking, notice I say sips regularly throughout the day. Avoid just chugging a full liter at once. Instead, make it work steadily throughout the day, because when you chug it, that can cause nausea. It actually can cause upset stomach, bloating, and some other things downstream, right? So that's not what we want. So hydrate smartly. Number 2 would be to deliberately practice breathing, controlled breathing. A box breathing. We talked about box breathing before. Maybe you do breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds. Great. Or you can do a 4-2-6. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and breathe out for 6 seconds. 4-2-6. It begins to lower the sympathetic tone. Remember we talk about the 2 different nervous systems? So the fight or flight, as you're going through the fast, if you're practicing breathing, you're transitioning or you're training your body to go from that fight or flight into a calmer parasympathetic tone. It settles the nervous system. It gives you a cleaner mental state before you're dealing with all the things that you're going through. This is a great time to talk about, hey, what is my routine for the day? What is my rhythm for the day? Do I have something that I do on a daily basis to set the tone for my day? And then at the end of the day, do I have a way of assessing what went on during the day? If you feel stress spike, do this before you grab something to eat. Remember the COPE model: clarify, observe, pause, and execute. Before you grab something, right, do some breathing. Do this before you open the refrigerator. Do this before you make a big decision about your fast or about your health. Do this before you react to something that somebody says. Okay? So number 1, we're hydrating. Number 2, we're practicing our breathing, deliberate breathing throughout the day. Practice, practice, practice. And then number 3, we are protecting one boundary block. And we talked about boundary blocks in one of our episodes. Choose one protected block between now and bedtime. Some space that you say, okay, this is the block I'm protecting. This is helping me with my fast. For instance, no email. Turn off the notifications. No new demands. I'm going to stop scrolling. I'm going to have a time, going back to the previous one, I'm going to have a time where I begin winding down, and nothing is going to interrupt that peace. You want to use it, that boundary block. You want to use it, maybe you're going to walk, breathe, journal, or simply rest. Take 5 minutes, take 2 minutes. Say, okay, during this time, I am not going to engage with any of the myriads of things that we all have to do. 1,440 minutes in a day, and most of us, aside from sleeping, give that all away to somebody else. Let's take a few moments for ourselves. You're giving your stress system one clear message. We are not in crisis. This is a controlled, designed process. Yeah. So that's what we want to do. And so we're supporting our system. And then let's talk a little bit about what I call your 33-hour dashboard. So in addition to how you feel, here's what to look at in your metrics. One of the things I advocate is checking, monitoring. Ketones, blood sugar, right? We have our check-in that we do. So make sure that you are monitoring something. And those things will give us cues. In addition to what the body is telling us, then the metrics that we're using give us cues. Maybe we're monitoring our glucose. The trends should be gentle. They should be smooth lines. We should not have sharp drops. If we do have sharp drops, maybe we have symptoms. We want to pause and we want to reassess. Remember, this is our dashboard. When we're monitoring our heart rate, track that. Slightly lower resting heart rate over time is improved adaptation. Means that your body is calming. Yeah. You feel your energy go up and you feel your focus gets better. Great. If you have persistent racing heart rate and you're not feeling well, maybe something needs to be done. It's not something to ignore. Once again, we're listening to the body. This is our dashboard. This is our fasting dashboard. What's going on? We already learned about what's normal and what we should be feeling. What's your sleep quality? If your structure holds, hydration, boundaries, breathing, you'll often notice better sleep the night after a 33-hour fast. The goal is not to chase perfection and not to chase perfect numbers as we're watching these. The goal is to understand the patterns that are happening. When I hydrate, when I rest, when I breathe intentionally, at 33 hours, my stress response is calmer, my numbers are smoother, and I feel more resilient. Come on now, that's the word right there, resilient. That's resilience in real life. Hey, how do I come back? How do I make sure that I am not breaking, that I'm bending? How do I make sure that I get through this fast successfully? That's our dashboard. And then let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about the recap. So once again, the goal is not to chase perfect numbers. To understand the pattern. When I hydrate, I rest, breathe intentionally. When I do all those things, I am able to absorb. The capacity that I have is improved. So let's go back to our theme, right? Resilience. And this is the transition. This is the crossover. This is the point at which our body's metabolism is in full gear. And so here's the big takeaway. At 33 hours, your body is not just burning fat. It's asking a question. There's a transition that's going on. Can I trust the structure when food is not coming in? I can't tell you the number of people that say to me, well, I can't fast. I feel I'm going to starve to death. I can't fast because my blood sugars are going to drop. I can't, and there's lots of stuff to go on because our concept of what the body can do is different. But when your structure is clear, when you hydrate, when you rest, when there's rhythm, when there are boundaries, when you're paying attention to your body, then when you get to a fast, as you're going through a fast, your worry, your anxiety, the stress goes down. And so cortisol stabilizes. Energy stabilizes. We're talking now about 33 hours. Stress feels different, more manageable. You have the capacity now to absorb because things don't feel as urgent. They don't feel as insurmountable. And your body starts to treat fasting like a pattern, not a threat. I want to put a pin right here. I want to put a pin right here. So we often turn to food and other behaviors as a buffer, right? That's our go-to when life happens, when life gets stressful. We turn to those things as our go-to. When we are able to develop the pattern of fasting, when the body trusts us, when the body gets those dopamine hits from fasting, we now can turn to fasting as a replacement to the buffering behavior. Because now our body says, oh, when I do that, I feel good. I tell you, when I'm about to go into a fast, when I'm approaching a fast, I get excited. I get excited because it takes away the food noise. It takes away the concern for other things. And I am more able to manage life because I have to deal with life on its own terms. Otherwise, guess what we do, right? You're stressed, you go grab a candy. You're stressed, you go drink something. You're stressed, you go eat something. But now I learn that I have the capacity, I have the resilience, I have the ability to deal with all those things without buffering. That's the resilience crossover. Not only am I getting the metabolic benefits, not only am I getting the hormonal interplays, not only am I getting the fat burning, not only am I getting the ketosis, not only is my blood sugar getting better, but I personally am learning and I'm becoming more resilient. Not because there is some inner thing that's going on, not because my DNA predicts it, because the structure is in place now and my body, my brain trusts the process. That's the resilience crossover. That's the transition. Not inspiration, not hype, but just biology responding to structure. From here, your job is simple. Observe the signals. Support the system. Use your tools and let your data and your body teach you. That's what's going on in 36 hours, the transition. As we move to more fasting, we'll talk about what happens when your body doesn't just cross over, when it settles in, the adaptation zone, where fasting often starts to feel so much easier. The Limitless Living method is amazing in its ability to teach us and help us to put things in place so that we can be metabolically healthy, so we can do what we need to do to show up for the things that are so important to us. We'll continue talking more. Join us next time. Man, I'm always so excited when we have these amazing conversations. And this is a good one. All right, this is a good one. As we move through fasting, and you'll notice a few things. That when I talk about fasting, I talk about fasting as a tool and as a structure and as a method. A tool, structure, method. It is a thing that we use to give us benefit. It's just like a hammer. I go get the hammer when I need it. I use it for what I need, and then I put it down. So the tool is providing benefit. It's not the tool itself. So I'm not fasting just because to fast. I'm fasting because fasting is a tool and it's giving me metabolic benefit. Biology, physiology, and my emotional states, psychology, all of those things come into play as we fast. And that's why this is such an important and such an amazing thing to do. As we talk about fasting, notice also that it transcends just your biology. I'm gonna pause right there. Oh, this one is so good to me because yes, you get better blood sugars. Yes, the weight goes down. Yes, we improve the metabolism. Yes, we get better blood sugars. Yes, we get better blood pressures and cholesterol and all those things, right? Yes, we get all of that. But you can't change that part of your life and all the other things stay the same. That's the whole idea behind the domains of health. Because it's a wheel and all of the parts of the wheel touch each other. So when you make a change in one place, it domino affects everything else. So as you're improving your health, you're also improving your relationships. You're also improving your spirituality. You're also improving your intellectual domain. And all of them ripple effect into each other. And that's why sometimes when I talk about fasting, it just blossoms and it just goes into so many other areas. And then the other thing is, while you're fasting, because of the beta-hydroxybutyrate and because of the BDNF, brain-derived natriuretic factor, there are so many connections that are being made. When we get to 56 and we talk about the 56 hour and we talk about the adaptation, which will be our next show tomorrow night, then we'll talk more about some of those ideas. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll talk about the complete fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast successfully, and then how to break the fast. Make sure that you join us as we do our pop-up tomorrow at 48 hours as we talk more about getting through and do basically doing a check-in, right, to see how you're doing. If you have thought to yourself, man, I want to fast, but I'm not quite sure. This is a great time to do it because we're doing it as a community. You get to see what I eat, both to begin the fast and end the fast as well. You get to come through and you get to be in that space. So make sure that you're joining us. Just so excited that we get to be there with you. So make sure that you come through, and then we'll do our check-in tomorrow night at 56 hours. And then on Friday, once again, we'll do our complete review of fasting. Everything we do, y'all, is based on our Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. So when you come, I want you to make sure that you are in community, that you're sharing the things that are going on in your life, when you're having successes, and when you're having some challenges. Because this is not just, I'm putting my hand up, everything doesn't always go well, right? There's some weeks where you're going to be pulled a lot more than other weeks. Your buttons are going to be pressed. And you're going to have to rely on the tools that you're learning to get you through the fast. But that's what the fasting practice is all about. It's about us walking this path together and saying, okay, what do we need to do to continue to be successful? Because if you can do that, if you're learning the tools, if you're staying connected, then you get to be successful. And that's the idea behind the Limitless Living method. We're not allowing anything from outside, anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plans. So make sure that you join us as we move into that space. All right, let's go ahead and say hello to some of our community members. And I do see you guys out there. Let's go ahead and jump back over there. Let's see, where were we? So Jennifer, okay, Jennifer says, QQQ, difference between water fast and dry fast. Should we try a dry fast? Never done it before. Oh, very good question, Jennifer. I like that. I like that question. Oh, let me put that up. I don't think you guys are seeing that. There it is. So Jennifer says she has a question. What's the difference between a dry fast and water fast? Should we try a dry fast? Never done one before. So the difference between a dry fast and a water fast, as you know, here in this space, we have been doing a fast where we are only allowed to drink. And we put this back up. We're only allowed to drink things that are non-calorie containing. So water. We've allowed, unsweetened tea, and I drink, often sometimes when you see me drinking, I'm drinking, let me do something here really quickly, y'all. I am drinking zero sugar sodas. So the dry fast says that we're not even taking that in. We're not taking in any liquids. And the dry fast, the reason I don't do a dry fast is the benefit of the dry fast is a deeper version of what we do, but you can achieve the same benefit by doing a fast where you're drinking just as well as dry fast. And so dry fast, there are some other things that you've got to kind of pay attention to during that process. And so for me, as we teach, it is, and I'm going to use this word, but I don't want you to take this word and say the other is dangerous. But I think it's a safer fast to do when we are not doing a dry fast. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that answers your question. A very good question, though, Jennifer. I love that. Okay, so let's get back and let's see. So that was Jennifer's question. Kenti, what's going on? Kenti says, oh yeah. Good night, American friends. Hey, Kenti, what's going on? What time is it over there? Gion says, thank you, Doc. Kenti said, Gion, 48 hours now. Good afternoon, Kenti. 5 p.m. Thursday. Yep. Yes, I completed a 48-hour fast. Enjoy your meal. And Gion said 4 hours ahead. Proud of you from Kenti. Awesome. And Gion says, I really enjoy it now. Hey, y'all, I'm so glad that once again, when I get to come and hang out with you and get to be in this space, I am so appreciative that I get to walk this path along with you, and all the benefits that I'm seeing, all the benefits I'm hearing, all the benefits that you are achieving. Make sure that when you come, that you share that with the community. Drop me a message, right? Let me know what's going on. Let me know when you're fasting, how you're fasting. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what foods you're eating pre-fast, post-fast. Let me know how your weight is changing, your blood sugar. All of that is important because the power of community is that is in the stories that we share and the stories that we tell. Which is why you guys see all my stuff, right? My numbers, my weight. Hey, it's right here because I want you to know what it's like to walk through this process. It's not magic. It's not magic, and it's not something, oh, well, Dr. Woode is got it all together, so that's why he's done. No, you get to see raw and in real time what goes on a daily basis as you look at my numbers, as you hear the stories, as we sit and we talk together. But hey, join us tomorrow. Pop up tomorrow afternoon, 48 hours. Check in tomorrow night, 56 hours at 9 p.m. On Friday, we'll do our complete check-in. Get to see what I eat for the first time after 72 hours. We'll do video from the vault on Saturday night at 9 p.m. And then on Sunday, this week in review. And we'll be right back here on Monday for Dwain Woode MD Live as we move through the week. Now, next week, we're going to have some changes in the schedule, so kind of pay attention to that. The beginning of the week is going to be fine, but the rest of the week, because of the things that are going on here as we come up into some interesting days, some fun days, by the way, So you'll see some changes in the schedule. Make sure you join us. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. Go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. And the Limitless Living method says that we're not allowing anything to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plan. I want to help you to have success in your health, just like you're having in other areas of your life. So you can show up for the things that are so important, your family, your friends, and all those dreams that you're pouring into. You don't need superhuman strength. You need a strategy you can trust, a plan you can follow, and you need the support and the determination to keep showing up. Good night, everybody. Let's go ahead and we're going to listen to that promo for the MOVE campaign one more time, and then we'll be out. Good night. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started.